I would definitely have to say that one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars franchise has got to be Emperor Palpatine, mainly because he was able to manipulate Anakin Skywalker into becoming Darth Vader, and how menacing of a character he really is. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that Episode 9 really has going for it is the fact that both J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio will be using this movie as a way of combining all 9 movies into one big movie by borrowing elements from the prequels and the originals in order to tell a very unique story. And that, I gotta say, is one thing that I'm really excited to see once it's actually put on the big screen. And that's another question. I wonder exactly how JJ is going to actually put this on the big screen and how he's going to use those elements of the prequel trilogy. But looking past all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the scene schedules, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions. Now, we've been hearing about Emperor Palpatine's involvement in Episode 9 in some way, shape, or form for these past 3 months, give or take, and a lot of people have been wondering exactly why Emperor Palpatine would even be a part of Episode 9. Now, sure, it's a way to sell tickets, but on the other end of things here, it could very well be an important piece to a lot of our current characters. So I want to focus in on this big story that came out today, very interesting story that has a lot of people talking, and I want to read this to you. This comes from Super Bro Movies and originally from the Weekly Planet. Very interesting stuff for sure. A lot of people have been wondering about who in the world is Matt Smith playing. We do know that he's playing a vital role in Episode 9, and it's really going to be kept secret, and it's going to be very important to the overall plot of Episode 9. Now, according to Super Bro Movies and Weekly Planet, a classic Star Wars character could be making their return to the series, according to James Olsen of the Weekly Planet podcast. Doctor Who, Matt Smith, could be taking on the role of a young Sheev Palpatine in Episode 9. During the show's Hot Scoop of Shot of Poop segment, Olsen revealed that a source who is close to the production of Episode 9 claims that Smith will be bringing the Emperor back to the big screen. This isn't the first time we've heard rumblings that the iconic villain could make his return in next year's film. Goes on to state, Smith signed onto the film in August in what has been described as a vital role. His character has remained a mystery since then, with many speculating he could be a member of the First Order. If there is any validity to all of this, it could explain the hype that surrounds this involvement. Now, to me, Matt Smith, if you look at him, really examine his face and his facial structure, you can kind of tell that he could absolutely pull off a young Palpatine. I can just imagine him with the hood over his head. Now, why would a young Palpatine be a part of Episode 9? Now, we do know that J.J. Abrams is bringing back the concept of flashbacks once again in this movie. For some reason, we don't know. But other than that, alright, we've been hearing about Emperor Palpatine and his involvement in Episode 9 for the longest time now, and just today, this story, it's a very interesting one for sure, about a young Palpatine being portrayed by Matt Smith, unless they are really going to really make him look very old and he's going to try to emulate Ian's take on the Emperor. It could be that, but if you guys had to ask me, I think that this all has a connection to Rey. We do know that in this movie, J.J. Abrams is going to be giving the character of Rey a very important lineage. Unlike, with Rian Johnson, where he pretty much tossed that idea and made her parents nobodies. But then again, if you think about it this way, alright, I've been talking about this for the longest time. What if her grandparents are the more important role here in the Star Wars sequel trilogy? That could be the case. But I want to look and focus in on the character of Emperor Palpatine. This connection to Rey, alright, this possible connection to Rey. What would be the main purpose of doing that in the sequel trilogy? Did Palpatine make Rey? Did he somehow have a hand in creating her, or creating her parents that then created her? We don't know what Palpatine did. However, there is a huge connection with Palpatine and Jakku. And with that being said, the fact that they actually are shooting over in Jordan, which, by the way, Jordan was going to be the original location of the planet Jakku in The Force Awakens, they scratched out that filming location and went all the way over to Abu Dhabi. So now that they're back in Jordan for Episode 9, and they're using that as a filming spot for this movie, I think it's pretty safe to say that we are back in Jakku. If we're back at Jakku, and we do know that from reading all the Aftermath novels and all the other books and novels, right? That Emperor Palpatine had a big interest in Jakku. I don't want to give any spoilers away from the books if you guys haven't read them, but if you read them, you will kind of get the clues as to why he's interested in Jakku. But I believe that there's a whole lot more to the story, and that could very well be explained even further in Episode 9. Now, I would really love to hear from each and every one of you below in the comments section. Why do you think a younger Palpatine would be involved in any way, shape, or form in Star Wars Episode 9? My take is that it all has to do with the planet Jakku. That's what I have to say. But looking at Matt Smith, you know, I gotta say, he could very well pull off a great Emperor Palpatine, whether he's going to play a younger one, which is the most likely scenario, or if he's really going to play an older Palpatine and taking over Ian's role. Now, I think that the only problem that people would have with this, of him playing Palpatine, if he does play the older version of him, is that a lot of people would want Ian back into the Star Wars sequel trilogy in order to respect the character. But for all we know, we could be very well having two Palpatines in Episode 9. We've been hearing about the older version of Palpatine these past, 3 months or so maybe they're going to actually have flashbacks involving a younger version of the character. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.